Welcome to the Milsurf Mike channel. I'm just going to do a little fun video today, asking what songs come to your head with certain guns when you hold them or you think about the guns. What songs start entering the inner soundtrack of your head? Now, I've joked about this before on a couple of other guns, and actually there's just several guns that when I hold them, the song just starts blaring through my mind. I have been working on other content. I actually had a big old write-up on the Hakeem rifle. I interviewed Miles Vining earlier this summer and on the Hakeem and Rashid. I started doing a whole video whole write-out where I go about over 200 years of history of Egypt. I just realized I was just getting too long, and I just need to get back to the rifle, so I need to start all over on that. So here's just a little bit of fun content for you for this. Starting off, anytime you take your AK out, and I've got a few AKs, but this is pretty much my favorite one, my Saiga. But when you take your AK out, I mean, you pretty much just Ice Cube, today was a good day. Just because of the line in there, I didn't even have to use the AK. Today was a good day.
Today I didn't even have to use my AK.
That line just automatically starts putting that song in your head when you're out shooting an AK. So definitely got to mention that song. Switching up genres a little bit, to me, don't at me, but Chris Ledoux, I believe, is probably the greatest country singer of all time. I mean, most of the songs he wrote, he lived the life about what he wrote. He also wrote a couple, songs about history and stuff. And there's one song called Hair Trigger Colt 44.
Hair Trigger Colt 44.
I know the song, what he's probably referring to in the song is an 1860 Army. This is an 1851 Navy replica, but it's still in 44. And I don't know, just that song starts going through my head when ever I have this. I'll probably eventually do a video on this too. I haven't shot it yet. I haven't shot any of my muzzle loaders yet, but I may do that here a little bit in the winter just to get the cool fireball pictures. So anyway, this is Chris Ledoux, Hair Trigger Colt 44. Now, one band that I'm definitely going to have to talk about more than one song with is, of course, Sabaton. Anybody who's watched my channel or knows me knows that that's probably one of my favorite bands just because they only sing about history. And, of course, as a Milsurf collector, a lot of what I own, what I've bought, have plugged holes in different countries' histories. And sometimes just some rifles, some pistols just get songs blurring out my head more than others. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about my favorite Sabaton song, Inmate 4859. One of the videos I'm actually most proud of on my channel is what I did on the VIS 35. And any gun I've done a video on, I will have a card up above. But my VIS 35 video, I even mentioned this song, Inmate 4859. It's about Vidal Pileski. To me, he, in the history of badasses, the guy is the most badass dude in history. I mean, he volunteered to go to Auschwitz to see what was going on there. He actually helped set up a resistance ring there. And when they couldn't get any help from the Allies, any drops, any food or ammo drops, he escaped Auschwitz and went on to be a part of help lead in the Polish underground. And of course, after the war, he went back underground to fight against communists because he hated communists as much as he hated Nazis. And one of his crimes that he was arrested for was carrying a VIS 35 pistol. And of course, that he probably had several VIS 35 pistols throughout his time in the underground. So I don't know, it just always makes me think of him. And of course, like I said, my favorite song by them is Inmate 4859. Couple songs that involve FALs. I got my regular FAL here, and they have a song called Back in Control. It's about the Falkland Islands War. And of course, in the Falkland Islands, both sides, the British and the Argentinians, used the FAL. So it's just natural that song comes to my head and I have that. Sticking with the FAL, this Israeli FAL. That was song Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's about the 6-Day War. And I believe in my video about this, I brought up that song also. And of course, this is what the Israeli army fought with, was the their version of the FAL, and it was kind of that war that taught them that maybe they need to go to an AK base, and that's when they started looking towards the Galil. Kind of as with the AK, one lyric out of a song puts that song in your head. I have the Brownells M16A1 or BRN 16A1. It's basically a replica, semi-auto replica of the M16 in Vietnam. And the song that always pops in my head with this is Purple Heart. Songs about the history of the Purple Heart, but there's a lyric in there. We signed up for the Army in a Rangers company, armed with M16, straight into the war. I don't know, for some reason that lyric always puts that song in my head, and I have this. Another song where it's just kind of one lyric. I have this 1934 Mauser with a Kriegsmarine mark on it, and they have a song called Wolfpack, which is about 4 subs attacking and sinking the Gleaves and the Ingham that were leading a convoy across the Atlantic. And since that's about the Kriegsmarine and this has the Kriegsmarine mark on it, for some reason this always brings the Wolfpack to mind. My Springfield 1903. Oh, that ain't it. My Springfield 1903. That brings, you start to kind of think about Sergeant York a little bit, and you have the Springfield 1903 because that was his preferred rifle. He preferred that over the 1917. And they have a song called 82nd All the Way, which is basically about Sergeant York. The Finn 2830 brings up White Death because they have a song about Simo Heha. Got the Finn 2830, which is what he used, to shoot a lot of Russians with. So, that song always gets White Death. And then finally, for Sabaton anyway, the Ross rifle. Now, yes, this is a Mark II. It isn't a Mark III. I realize that. And I'm probably still going to get comments because the 2 videos I had this rifle in, it's the Mark III that was used in World War I, not the Mark II. You have the Mark II. Well, I mentioned that in both videos, but this is what I have to represent the Ross, was the Mark II. And the Mark III was still, I had problems with this. The Mark III was still a piece of junk. Danny at Millstrip World had one. I've held it. It's even a hell of a lot heavier than this Mark II. And just, it's an overall horrible rifle for the trench warfare, but it is a good long-distance sniper rifle, which is why, Francis Pegamagabo, he ended up being a sniper and sharpshooter for the Canadians, and he did really well with the Ross. So, there's a song called Ghost in the Trenches, which is about him. Another song that this kind of brings to mind is Price of a Mile, which is about the Battle of Passchendaele.
Some ground has been won. 500,000 men are gone.
Canadians fought very, very bravely in that. And just the videos for fan-made videos for that, and for a Passchendaele by Iron Maiden. Feature a movie pretty heavily of that was talking about Canadians in World War I, about Canadians in Passchendaele. So, for some reason, the Ross rifle brings that to mind too. So anyway, let's get out of Sabaton a little bit and get to the top 2. I know I've joked about it a lot, but it does just get Mother by Danzig through my head. My favorite song by Danzig is probably Her Black Wings, but Mother is probably the most famous song by Danzig. It's the one everybody knows. Mother, tell your children not to look my way. So, any firearm made at the Danzig Armory that has, Danzig written across it, that's just going to get Danzig going through my head. Like I said, I've made several jokes about it, and I probably will keep making jokes about it because I'm an idiot. And then finally, the number one rifle that will put a song in my head. I have an International Harvester M1 Garand. So, of course, Harvester of Sorrow by Metallica just starts blaring in my head whenever I have this rifle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a little bit of fun content. If you have any firearms that puts the song in your head or kicks off the inner soundtrack in your head, let me know in the comments below. If you be sure you help get into the fight for Second Amendment, join the GOA, get $5 off your membership with the link in the description below. Also, check out, if you like my content, check out my other videos. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.